The list of diseases that fetal stem cells have an impact on is enormous. It includes things like Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, even amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, diabetes, brain damage, sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, blood dyscrasias. Every patient who has cancer can be helped with these cells.
When I was about 8 years old, I saw, in 1988, I saw the Olympics, and I heard the song, The Chariots of Fire. And there was some kind of just feeling that I had inside me. Just my heart started like pounding really hard, and I just felt like, wow, you know, I think that's what I want to do. That's what I want to become as an Olympian. So I really got into track and field in high school. Being a competitor, I felt like I was the most, you know, alive at that moment, or my purpose in life was being an athlete. I competed at Idaho State for about 1 season, and my dreams to be a pole vaulter in the Olympics were shattered. I was I was driving home from a pole vaulting meet. We hit black ice, which is ice that you can't see. It was late at night. The vehicle went out of control, and as the car was rolling, I was thrown out of the vehicle to oncoming traffic. So when I woke up in the hospital, there were doctors around saying, you know, you had a spinal cord injury. We don't exactly know how bad it is right now. I didn't feel it was that, you know, big of a tragedy that happened. I didn't realize it until I got all the final results back from the doctor, and he pretty much came into the room and sat down and, you know, tried to have the right attitude about telling me that I would never be able to walk again. I really didn't know what to say at that point.
I delivered Luca about 4:15 in the morning. So after I delivered him, they took me to my room, and, you know, I rested. And in the morning, my room was full. My parents, my in-laws, they were all coming to visit, all excited, you know, meeting Luca for the first time. Pictures, you know, like any happy family, there's a new addition. And I hear a knock on the door, and it's the pediatrician. So she comes in, and she, you know, she introduced herself, and she asked if everybody could, you know, leave the room so her and I could discuss her visit with Luca. And she said, well, we have, you know, some concerns that Luca was born with Down syndrome. How dare you walk into my room? Like, I was offended. Like, you know, who are you to sit here and tell me that, you know, here's this precious little boy could possibly, at that point, excuse my ignorance, mentally retarded. I was so afraid. Afraid that, as a mother, what do I do with a special needs child? I wasn't educated. I didn't know the first thing.
Clayton Fothery was born on December 19, 2001. He was a normal, happy, and thriving baby.
He would wake up from, you know, I think it was only just he was a couple months old, and when he would wake up from his naps, he would just be smiling and giggling. And he just had the greatest demeanor. You know, the only time he cried was if he was hungry and we hadn't gotten to him fast enough. That was really it. He was just so happy, so easy, so chubbly, so cute. Really a good spirit about him. And he was just perfection.
But this fairy tale childhood ended when, at the age of almost 6 months, Clayton came down with the most serious form of epilepsy, called Lennox-Gastaut. Clayton's seizures were occurring one after the other, and he was quickly going downhill.
We would sit there and negotiate with God and say, God, just please let him sleep 5 minutes. Give him 5 minutes of sleep between these seizures. And he would have a seizure after 3 minutes. Okay, God, give him 2 minutes of sleep. You know, we were just negotiating for every minute that he could sleep so that somehow he could kind of gain the strength to fight off more seizures. But it just wasn't happening.
Wasn't offered a whole lot of therapy because they didn't have a lot of hope. I was first introduced to stem cell therapy through my uncle, Dr. Forsyth, who is an oncology doctor in Reno, Nevada. He went to a seminar and he felt like it was his need to go up and talk to him about, you know, I have an amazing candidate and I would love for you to see if you're interested. When I met with the doctors, they're like, Ricky, do you want to be able to walk again? I was in shock. I mean, this feeling that just took over me, like, wow, Ricky, this is real. Like, it felt like the right thing to do, like that's what I needed. Because, I mean, no one ever told me that I would ever be able to walk again and be normal. Within a week after our conversation, I booked a flight to go down to the Dominican Republic, where I had my first treatment in 2001.
I must have called Dr. Rader a million times. Well, Dr. Rader, have you worked on infants before? Yes, I have worked on numerous infants.